Hello students, in science we are doing our chapter number 4, that is materials, metals and non-metals. Our today's topic is reactivity series of metals. Some metals are chemically very reactive and some are less reactive on comparison with the another other metals. So there is some reactivity series of the metals. What it is? The arrangement of metals in a vertical column in a series, you can say, in order of decreasing reactivities is called the reactivity series of the metals. Let me see the reactivity series of the metals. You will understand in a better way. The reactivity series of the metals is, as you know, the potassium is the highly reactive metal, so it is on the top of the reactivity series. The most reactive metals are on the top, so like potassium, sodium, calcium, they are the highly reactive metals. And the sodium and potassium, they are the due to the highly reactive metals. That's why they have to store under the kerosene because they can easily react with the air or oxygen. And in the bottom of this series there is a gold, silver, these metals, because these are the metals which are least reactive metals. They do not easily react with any other any means like oxygen or water, so they are placed in the bottom of this reactivity series. So this is the reactivity series of the metals, according to which means potassium is a highly reactive. After that, the sodium is less reactive than potassium, calcium is less reactive than sodium, magnesium is less reactive than calcium, aluminium is less reactive than magnesium. So in this way means they are placed in a decreasing of their reactivity, in order of decreasing reactivity. On the top, the most reactive metals are placed, and in the bottom the least reactive metal is placed. So with the means with the help of this reactivity series, we have to discuss one another topic. Let me move to the next topic, that is displacement reaction in metals. The definition of the displacement reactions: a more reactive metal displaces a less reactive metal from its salt solution. So what it is? This is a most reactive means a more reactive metal. There is a more reactive metal, and then when this more reactive metal uh, react with a less reactive metal in its salt solution, then that more reactive metal displaces the less reactive metal. This means that when a more reactive metal is placed in the salt solution of a less reactive metal, then the more reactive metal displaces the less reactive metal from its salt solution. Let me see this definition or the displacement reaction with the help of examples. Let me consider the one example of reaction of iron metal. Iron is a metal, and we have to react. We have to see the reactivity of this iron metal with a copper sulfate solution. So this is the reaction. Means we have copper sulfate solution in a beaker, and then when we placed a iron nail, iron is a metal, and we place this iron nail, we put some iron nail in the copper sulfate solution. Here the copper sulfate solution is called the salt solution of copper, and the metal iron. Here the iron is more reactive than that of the copper. Here copper is less reactive metal and iron is more reactive metal. And according to their reactivity or the displacement reaction, iron displaces this less reactive metal. Copper is a less reactive metal here. So after the reaction, it becomes iron sulfate. Means iron displaces the copper from its salt. Now it becomes iron sulfate. Is it clear? And the means copper gets separate. So iron displaces the copper from its salt solution because iron is a more reactive metal than the copper, and iron is placed on the top of the or upper level of the copper. Here you can see, here it is the copper and here it is the iron. So iron is more reactive than copper. So iron displaces the copper from its salt solution. This is a word, you can say symbolic equation, symbols of the for this reaction: copper sulfate CuSO4. Cu stand for the copper, SO4 stand for the sulfate, Fe for the iron, and now it is becomes FeSO4, that is iron sulfate and copper. If we talk about the change that takes place, then initially the copper sulfate solution is blue in color. So this solution is blue in color, and iron is almost in gray in color. And after the reaction, now it becomes the greenish solution because iron displaces the copper. So it becomes greenish solution. And if we talk about the reverse equation, reverse reaction, and we react that iron sulfate with copper, then because copper is a less reactive metal as compared to that of the iron. So copper cannot displaces the iron from its salt solution. Means as copper is a less reactive metal, iron is the more reactive metal. So no displacement reaction or no reaction will take place here because iron is more reactive and copper is less reactive. Only more reactive metal displaces the less reactive metal. So a less reactive metal cannot displace a more reactive metal from its salt solution. If we consider the another example of like zinc metal with copper sulfate solution. So copper sulfate solution, and we put some zinc granules in the copper sulfate, and as zinc is more reactive metal than the copper, so zinc displaces the copper from its solution, and now it becomes zinc sulfate. So again, if we consider the reverse equation, reverse reaction, zinc sulfate solution plus copper, so no reaction will take place because copper is again because copper is the less reactive metal than the zinc. So again, a less reactive metal cannot displaces the more reactive metal. If we consider the another example of zinc metal, reaction of the zinc metal with the iron sulfate. So iron sulfate solution, we have to put some zinc granules, then a reaction will take place and it becomes zinc sulfate plus iron because zinc is more reactive metal. Zinc is more reactive metal and it displaces the iron from its salt solution, from its iron sulfate solution, and it becomes zinc sulfate, which is colorless. And again, if we try to just check out the reverse reaction, then no reaction will take place again here because iron is less reactive as compared to that of the zinc. So iron not have the ability to displaces the zinc from its salt solution because iron is less reactive as compared to that of zinc. So a less reactive metal cannot displaces a more reactive metal from its salt solution. So almost our chapter is complete here, and now we have to discuss about the uses of the metals and non-metals. If we consider the first, the uses of the metals, then metals like iron, copper, aluminium, these are the metals that are used to make cooking utensils. You and water boilers for factories. You also see your in your at your home in kitchen. The utensils are generally made from the iron, copper, and aluminium. So these are the metals which are used to make cooking utensils. Now the copper is also used to make the electric wires for household wiring, electric motors, and many other electrical appliances. Aluminium is also used for the electric cables and overhead electric transmission lines. You can also see the electric transmission lines in your street, and they are made from the aluminium metal. Aluminum foil is also used for the packaging of many items, like your mother is giving uh, your to your lunch, that is wrapped in the aluminum foil. You eat the chocolates that again wrap in the aluminum foil. You see the medicine is also wrapped in the aluminum foil. So there are the so many things which are wrap or means aluminum foil is used for the packaging. Aluminium metal is also used to make aeroplanes. Here the aluminium is used as a means alloy. That means aluminium is mixed with another metals that becomes a alloy, and that is used to manufacturing for the aeroplanes. Zinc is a metal that is used for the galvanization. The galvanization word here, the galvanization is a process in which we are depositing a layer of zinc. We are depositing a layer of the zinc over the iron. You know the iron is easily get rusted when it come in contact with a moist air. Then to protect the iron, from the rusting, we done a process that is known as galvanization, in which a zinc layer is deposited over the iron surface. And you know, well, the silver and gold metals are used for making jewelry. And mercury, you see the thermometers. There is a mercury is used in the thermometers for checking out the temperature of the body. Now let me talk about the uses of the non-metals. Non-metals like oxygen, and you know well about the oxygen we breathe, or animals, plants, or every living being is breathe the oxygen. So also used in the and also used in the process of burning. Without oxygen, without air, we call the air, and it is only about the oxygen. Means without oxygen, the burning process is also not possible. Another non-metal that is the nitrogen, and this nitrogen is used in making fertilizers. We also studied about this in a first chapter, that is the crop production and management, where we study about the fertilizers. One fertilizer that is the NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. The main component is the nitrogen, and that is used to enhance the growth of the plants by making the fertilizers. Also used in the packaging of instead of air to keep the food fresh. Means nitrogen. You see the some uh, packets that is a like chips and etc. They are we are filled inside that packets a gas that is a nitrogen that keep the food fresh. Chlorine is another non-metal that is used for the water purification process. Another non-metal that is iodine. Iodine is used to make a purple colored solution which is known as a tincture iodine, and it is applied on the wounds as an antiseptic. So you see sometimes the doctors also apply a solution on the wound to clean that wound, that is made from the iodine. Carbon is used as a fuel. Generally, we what we use in the fuel, we use the diesel, petrol, coal, and that what is a most of the means mostly that for that fuels are formed from the carbon, or carbon is the main component of that fuels. Another non-metals like sulfur, phosphorus is used in the fireworks. So these are the some of the uses of the metals and non-metals. Thank you.